morning and welcome to Mornings on Main Street for this Friday, February 10th. I'm your host, Stephanie Miller. Hope your week has gone great. Coming up for you today, we have information on a pilot program that pairs mental health professionals and counselors with first responders in Davidson County. This kicks off on Monday, and we are going to share with you why this program is so important to those in the Davidson County area. Also today, we take you to Clarksville, Tennessee to introduce you to one of the newest restaurants in the Queen City. It is the Mail Room. We also share with you a bit of its history and some of the dishes that you have on the menu. And then we visit with Miss Chief this morning, and she talks to us about the zoo food donation happening right now, what they're asking from you, and how you can get a free admission into the zoo. She also shares with us information about the Cope Center in Robertson County. Some of our headlines that we're looking at this morning in our papers, one being that this Hendersonville man, 39-year-old Jay Burrows, has been charged with 101 crimes against children, including rape and sexual exploitation of 2 minor children, as well as the possession of more than 1,000 images of child pornography. Burrows was found to be living directly behind Jack Anderson Elementary School. Chandler is set to be arraigned on the 10th. See this man's full list of charges and the latest information at the hendersonstandard.com. That's at the hendersonvillestandard.com. And then this year could be the year for work to start on what will be the Bransford Community Center in Springfield, Tennessee. Once finished, the new center will serve as a resource for a variety of programs and services to enrich the community as a whole. Now, to read more on what this center will mean for the Greater Faith Community Action Corporation and the rest of Robertson County, go to robertsoncountyconnection.com. And also today, get your calendars ready because dates and times are in place for Jazz Fest at the Fountains in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Now, the festival will start on Saturday, May 6th at 11 o'clock in the morning. It will run through 5 p.m. on Sunday, May 7th. The next committee meeting is scheduled for 5 p.m. on Wednesday, February 22nd. If you would like to go out to that, it's happening at the Fountains. For sponsorship information and more details, head over to murfreesboropost.com. And then for a check of our forecast this morning and a little bit of a joke for us because he always has one at the ready. Oh, it's so good to see your face, Justin. Justin Kulik is with us now.
Hi, yes. Thank you, Stephanie. How are you doing today?
I am well, thanks. How are you doing?
Doing well. I have a good joke for you today. I just had a quick question. Why are mountains so funny?
Why are mountains so funny?
Yes.
Because I don't know.
Because they're hilarious.
Hilarious.
Yes.
Oh, that's in my top 5 now.
Good deal. Good deal. Well, your weather for today is, as we go through the middle of the day, it's going to be intervals of clouds and sunshine with the high reaching to 55, as you see there. As we go into the night, the evening, it will get down to 31 degrees as our low with partly cloudy skies. Rain seems to be holding up, but that's your weather for today.
Justin, thank you for that.
Very welcome.
Now on Mornings on Main Street, starting February 13th, mental health counselors will be available to respond to mental health related 911 calls. How is this being made possible, and what does this mean to those who live in and around Davidson County? We now have the pleasure of talking with Michael Randolph. He is the program manager of the Partners in Care program. First off, Michael, thank you so much for your time to talk about this program that's being started.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
You're very welcome. So first off, I have to ask, is this just for Davidson County or is it Davidson and surrounding areas?
This is just like the Partners in Care program, this is just for Davidson County.
So just for Davidson County. So in the county, what are the number, I guess, of mental related health calls that you guys receive maybe in a week's time?
So when we launched Partners in Care in 2021, we really sat down with the mayor's office, the fire department, emergency communications, which is the dispatch office, and the police department to see how this mental health crisis, public health crisis, was affecting our first responders. And as we were launching Partners in Care, the fire department and EMS ran all their numbers, and they actually were responding to 120 and 100, or between 120 and 130 mental health, low acuity, nonviolent transports a week. And so that's where we kind of got the data, was from the emergency communications, to see what kind of calls were out there that maybe Partners in Care wasn't going on, that EMS was still going on, and they really reached out. The Nashville Fire Department, they really want to help these people in crisis better and more effectively and more efficiently, and they really invited us in to start this program as well.
So again, the program known as REACH, Responders Engaged and Committed to Help. For you, what has been your background and what, I guess, is your knowledge when it comes to like a mental health crisis?
Yeah, I am a licensed professional counselor. I've worked in mental health crisis for 14 years. I've been with the Mental Health Cooperative. I came up as a crisis counselor and kind of moved up from there. In my career, I have dealt with so many people who have been in crisis, and it's just really my passion to help people. And these situations that first responders are getting in, that are people are falling through the cracks, and police officers and EMTs and firefighters have become the first line of some of these mental health responses and mental health care. And really, I've been very passionate about building these partnerships and supporting our first responders and answering these calls, and really helping the people in crisis more safely and more effectively.
So incredibly, I think, important that it will be to have you guys available. Would you say, though, I guess your first responders aren't fully equipped, or first responders anywhere may not be fully equipped to handle a mental health issue?
Well, they our first responders do a really great job of
Yes.
de-escalation, and a lot of our police officers and EMTs, they get trained in their academies on how to deal with some of these calls.
Mhm.
But just going through training in a class, uh, the feedback from the front lines up is, we want more help, and on these situations and in these calls. And so, really, co-response, and I'm a huge believer in co-response programs with EMS, with police officers, of getting a clinician as close to these situations as possible, hopefully right there in the moment, to help first responders, to help the person in crisis, and be a resource to navigate sometimes which can be a complicated healthcare system.
Oh, heavens. And first off, let me also say, like, thank the heavens for our first responders out there and
Mhm.
the amazing work that they do. Thank all of you who may be watching this, that you have a first responder in your life. Now, Michael, tell us how, like, if this call comes into 911, how does it get transferred over to your program and to those, I guess, you guys that are at the ready?
Yeah, well, part of our planning for Partners in Care and Reach was we looked at other cities who were doing co-response programs really well. We looked at Denver and their model, where they had a co-response program and a STARS program, which is similar to the Reach model.
Mhm.
And really, the Office of Emergency Communications and Director Steve Martini did a lot of work, or how to correctly dispatch different mental health resources to the correct calls. And really, the call takers have changed the questions they're asking. They're asking more in-depth questions about mental health history, and hopefully dispatch's goal is to correctly dispatch a reach unit to those calls that they can really go on. And so we've met a lot of times, and we will continue to refine how we respond to mental health crises. It's hard to integrate mental health into first response overnight. So we've learned so much in the last couple of years, and we're going to apply that all to reach, to make that the best program as we can.
I really wish I had so much more time just to continue to dive in, but I think I only have more time for a couple more
Mhm.
questions. One being, at what point will you see the success of this pilot program that it will then move on to other areas here in our state?
Oh, well, our pilot here in Davidson County, I think we have funding for like 6 months currently. We're going to
Mm.
gather data to really make the case that this program is needed, that this population is out there, that we can respond to these calls, we can do a great job and help a lot of people. So we are very hopeful that we're going to create a great program, gather this data, and really, make a case for expansion.
We hope so. And is there anything that I haven't asked you that you feel like people would want to know, or maybe they need to know?
Yeah, so the Reach program right now, for the pilot program, will run Tuesday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. And we ran the data, and that really, a lot of our calls come in through that time. So we're trying to target the high volume, times.
Okay.
And there'll be two master's level mental health professionals with two paramedic captains. The paramedics have gone through 40 hours of mental health training with us, and our counselors have gone through training with EMT and the fire department, and everybody's ready. They're gonna be in some vans and SUVs to answer these calls, and hopefully do it in a trauma-informed way, and really help the population out there, and really help
Um,
Nashville.
well, one more question, Michael. Then
Mhm.
what happens in the hours that you guys aren't running at full capacity?
Great question. If a pilot program's not running, whether it be Partners in Care or Reach, someone will respond to that call, either an ambulance if those two Reach units are tied up, or a police officer. And the city of Nashville is really committed to answering those calls in a timely manner, and they're going to send someone there. And then if we have to come there after an ambulance comes to talk to someone or a police officer, we will do that. But everyone will get help, even if it's after hours. There are systems in place to help everybody.
Michael, thank you again so much. Michael Randolph, the program manager of the Partners in Care program, getting ready to kick off their pilot program, Reach, on Monday, February 13th. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Anytime. Stay right here on Mornings on Main Street. We have more coming up after this.
Welcome to the Omni Nashville Hotel. Urban elegance with a vintage touch. Our 800-room hotel opened up in the fall of 2013 with 746 guest rooms and 54 suites.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. Well, this morning we get to visit with the founder, Wes Cunningham, of the Mailroom in Clarksville, Tennessee. The Mailroom is one of the latest restaurants to open up in Clarksville. Let me tell you, it is a hot spot for people to dine at. This morning we get to find out a little bit of the building's history as well as the dishes on the menu. We are at the Mailroom this afternoon. It is a hot spot in Clarksville since it opened last July. I have one of the owners with me, Wes Cunningham. This is a partnership with the Cunningham family. Mailroom, a part of Strawberry Alley. You may know that location, or Old Glory. Wes, thank you. I know you're busy and on the go all the time, so I can't tell you how much I appreciate your time.
We're excited to have you here, Stephanie.
Thank you. So let's talk about, first off, the Mailroom and the concept. Where did that idea come from, and how fun was it to develop it?
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. The whole idea started mainly because we love being in downtown Clarksville. We've been down at Strawberry Alley Ale Works for almost 5 years now, so our 5th birthday is coming up down there in a couple months. So we just really love being in Clarksville and being able to grow the downtown community. So when this building became available a few years ago, my dad, the late Tom Cunningham, he knew that he wanted to do something with this. It's such a unique and cool building, been here since 1935, built as the original, or built as the new post office when it moved from the current Customs House Museum. So a lot of cool history, and we wanted to be able to preserve that and bring it back to life. We got to work on it in late 2022, so spent about 8 or 9 months in construction, and we've been fully operational here since July. So it's been wonderful so far.
So you really kept a lot of the original, because you look at the, I mean, is there a lot of original aspects still here from, I guess, that post office?
So the bones and the structure, this thing is concrete and steel, built in the 30s. So as far as the original post office, most of that had been removed in the 60s when they renovated it the first time around. But there's a couple components that we're really proud of. One is when you walk in the front doors, there's some Tennessee pink marble floors.
Oh, wow.
That's the same stone that is used on the exterior of the building.
Okay.
So really high quality materials that we wanted to preserve as much as we could. So the entrance is that Tennessee pink marble cut out of a quarry from East Tennessee. These large windows that you see in here, letting in all this natural light. You can see all these different views of downtown Clarksville.
You know, this concept seems to be different from Strawberry Alley. How intentional was that from the get-go?
Well, we knew we had to do something that was different from Strawberry Alley.
Right.
People, maybe the first impression is, oh, it's the same owners. It's got to be the same thing.
No.
Well, it's much different. What is the same is our commitment to the made-from-scratch aspect of the menu, the fresh ingredients. We try to stay away from anything that's frozen. So we love that made-from-scratch aspect, but what we are making from scratch is totally different. So Strawberry Alley is a American brew pub. We're making our own beer, and you have some great dishes to complement that down there, where we wanted this to be maybe a half step up in the creativity and eclecticness of the menu, if that's a word. So we knew we had to preserve the American aspect, but we didn't want to have just comfort foods.
Right.
So alongside a really good pork chop and mashed potatoes, we've got a wonderful Korean beef burger, some South American inspired dishes, and some fun cocktails. So when you're in here, you're right here looking at the bar, seeing your drinks being made. You can look into the kitchen and see the wood-fired grill in action. So we wanted the modern component. There's some historical features too. You can see the lights hanging along the front of the wall there. Those are replicas of the column lights on the front of the building. So Clarksville Foundry took one of them, and we were able to recast those lights that are matches of the original brass fixtures from the 30s. So to encapsulate that, we want it to be, modern and fun, but have a few touches from the historical period of the building as well. We're super fortunate for how it's all turned out, and thankful for everybody around us.
Main Street Sports Today strives to bring you the most timely and comprehensive coverage of sports news and more from Middle Tennessee and beyond.
We cover the teams you care about from preps to pros and bring some of the most influential voices in sports to keep you in the know.
Tune into Main Street Sports Today each Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Download the Main Street Media TV app.
Well, I am still here at the mailroom with owner Wes Cunningham. He has treated me to the bone-in pork chop and the chicken chimichurri salad. Both look amazing, and then a mocktail as well, which is the Fresca drink. So you're seeing a little bit of the video of the pork chop being cooked and the bread being sliced. And then here's a look at the drink being created. So was able to get back there a little bit, but your guys in the kitchen, they're busy all the time and always prepping for the night crowd, which is pretty huge.
That's right. Yeah, our menu is very prep intensive. It'd be a lot easier for us to take something from a bag and just heat it up and cook it, but every step along the way we're having to make it from scratch. So
makes a difference.
It makes a big difference. Makes a lot more work for those guys, but I think for them, they enjoy it because they want to be a part of the craft of cooking. They take a lot of pride in making these items from scratch, and you're actually working with a culinary team, not just in the kitchen as a cook.
Well, it is a beautiful art. So I'm going to try the bone-in pork chops, but I'm trying the mashed potatoes first. What is on the plate? Is that butter on the bottom?
Yeah, so we sauteed the spinach and marinated tomatoes that are one of the sides there that's sauteed in some butter. So that it brings it all together with the homemade mashed potatoes and the pork chops, so it's really a rich, hearty, and delicious meal.
All right. Moment of truth, Wes.
There we go. Uh-oh. Here we go.
That is so tender.
Perfect. Yeah. That's the way it's designed. So this pork chop, we butcher it here in house, and then it sits overnight in an apple cider brine. So has a little bit of a sweet finish on there, and really makes a delicious pork chop.
It really does. My mother always taught me not to talk with my mouth full, so I'm trying not to do that, but it's really hard. This is amazing. And again, I love the potatoes and the pork chop with just its richness and flavor. All right, moving over to the chicken chimichurri salad.
A little bit of a lighter option for you there.
Right.
So you get both sides of it here with the tasting. But this chicken chimichurri salad is one of our more unique salads. It's got a lot of fresh ingredients in there. So the marinated tomatoes, manchego cheese, avocado, lettuce, the grilled chicken that's chopped up, and of course the fresh bread on the side there as well.
Two of the amazing dishes that you can find right here at the mailroom. Again, the bone-in pork chop as well as the chicken chimichurri salad. And then I also have the mocktail. What am I drinking on? Which mocktail is this?
This right here is the strawberry basil agua fresca.
Which is nice, light, and refreshing. And I did get a little tip from the bartender. She says if you would like to order it with club soda, it adds that little bubbliness to it that you might like as well.
You can spritz it up a little bit.
Yes,
that's
just
right.
a little bit.
Yeah.
Well, Wes, thank you. I cannot thank you enough for all of this, for letting me try this, letting me get into your restaurant and take a look. Again, if you can make it out to the mailroom, put this on your list of restaurants to visit.
I do have to thank Wes for his time because he is an extremely busy man all the time. Again, from the mailroom in Clarksville to Strawberry Alley and then Old Glory in Clarksville as well. Please make a visit to any one of those locations. And let me tell you, the salad and the pork chop, on point. Stick with us here on Mornings on Main Street. When we come back, we visit with Miss Cheap, and she shares with us information about the Nashville Zoo's food donation they have happening right now, as well as the Cope Center in Robertson County.
Hockey in Music City just hits different. It's one big honky-tonk party. It's the sea of gold in the crowd. The goals, the saves, the celebrations. It's an experience like no other. Don't miss a minute of the action this season. Visit NashvillePredators.com/tickets to get your seats today. That's NashvillePredators.com/tickets. And we'll see you at Bridgestone Arena.
Welcome back to Mornings on Main Street. We have Miss Cheap, or Mary Hance, with us this morning. We are talking about the Cope Center in Robertson County and then the food drive that our Nashville Zoo has going on right now. Mary, good to see you.
Good to see you. So, I love a thrift store. So this Cope Center in Springfield is a good one, I have to say.
Is it really? So it's celebrating, 40 years?
They've been in business for 40 years, and they've raised a lot of money to help the needy in Robertson County, but it's in downtown Springfield. Mm-hmm. And to celebrate, they're doing a 40% off sale on the 11th and the 14th, 2 days. And they say they'll be restocking all the time during those days and between those days. So, it's a great time for people to check out that thrift store.
So with thrifting, what sort of items do they have in there? Clothes, or do they expand past just clothing?
Well, it's a typical thrift store with clothing for all the family. There are lots of accessories, shoes, there are household goods, there's holiday decor. And at 40% off, their prices are already pretty good. Books are a good thing. I always look for books at thrift stores. But there's no large furniture. But a friend and I went to that store. It must have been sometime last year when they were having a bag sale. And there was really good merchandise, and they say they'll continue to have the bag sales at the seasonal change between the time they go from, winter and fall to summer and spring. But this sale, this 40% off is something they don't normally do. So that's a good deal for people. Good chance to check out this store.
Oh, 100%. Their hours are from 10 in the morning to 3. They're open Tuesday through Saturday. How did you come across the thrift shop there?
Well, we had just gone to Springfield looking for some bargain places, and I'd heard that this was a good one. And all the money that they raise, it's totally volunteers who work in the store, and the money they raise goes to help people in Robertson County with necessities like their rent or their house payment or medicine, utilities. It's not food. There's a food bank near there. Okay. But this really does help people. They've helped hundreds of families every year. And, their donations, there are a lot of wealthy people in Robertson County who donate items to the thrift store. So it's you never know what you'll find. It's a treasure hunt for sure. That's what I like about all thrift stores.
Absolutely love that. And Mary, you're so good with your column, Miss Cheap, to find these places where we can find a bargain, find a deal, find some good stuff, whether it be, items that we need for the house, clothing, or food. Speaking of food, the Nashville Zoo has a food drive going on. Can you expand on that for us this morning?
Well, this is their Super Bowl food drive, and Second Harvest Food Bank it serves 45 counties, and I think there are 400 and something agencies, maybe 500 agencies that work with it as partners to provide food and other services to people in need. And the zoo has done this for several years, where they have a food drive Super Bowl weekend. And so people can bring food, and in exchange for it, the zoo will give them a voucher to use to have free zoo admission anytime this year. So it's, if you bring 4 items, it's that you can get one of these vouchers. And they say the things that they need the most. I've got a list here of their most needed items if you want to do that. They need canned food, jarred food like peanut butter, boxed food like macaroni and cheese and cereal, rice, that sort of thing, protein bars, snacks, and shelf-stable milk. So if people want to get a free pass to the zoo, this is the time to do it. And you just drop the food off, and you don't have to use it that day. You can use it anytime this year. So that's a great way to get in the zoo. And everybody loves the zoo.
Oh, that we do. And this going back to the Second Harvest Food Bank, which is helping all counties. I think for most of the visitors at the zoo, for people coming in from the state of Tennessee, the Second Harvest Food Bank is helping someone in their community. So what a great way to raise donations for that.
Right. And I mean, I have to commend the zoo for doing this, because they sure don't have to do it. They have plenty of attendees to the zoo anyway. But this is a good time for people to check out the zoo, bring some food, and feel good about their trip to the zoo. I love the zoo, and it's fun for me to be able to see that they're doing something for the community too.
100%. What else can we look forward to, I guess, in the coming weeks from you, Mary?
Well, I'm just about to wrap up my penny drive for Second Harvest, and we'll have the total on that next time we talk, I hope. We're still getting some donations coming in on that. It's done real well. People have been very generous, and I think people realize that with the cost of everything going up right now, that more people than ever are in need and can use some help from the food bank. The food bank does some great work.
100%. Yes, it does. Speaking of the penny drive, so last year you raised what, 14,000?
Oh, no. Last year we raised over 600,000.
600,000.
One of the things I love about the penny drive is that it opens the door for people to have a relationship with Second Harvest. Mm-hmm. And as a result of that, our biggest donor was a foundation that's no longer giving through the penny drive, but he's still giving to Second Harvest. So the relationship was born through the penny drive, which makes me feel really good.
That's wonderful. Do you think you're going to surpass that $600,000 mark this time around?
No, because his donation will be in a different bucket. So, but it still goes to the food bank, and that's all that matters to me.
100%. Mary, thank you so much. Always a treat and a pleasure to have you. And we look forward to talking with you here in a couple of weeks.
Thanks so much. Stay cheap.
Yes, ma'am. We sure will. All right. Stick with us here on Mornings on Main Street. We have more coming up right after this. Join me, Stephanie Miller, each week as we bring you the best of what's happening here in Clarksville. Welcome back. This week in a big weekend, it is Super Bowl 57. So we have a few fun facts for you on this Super Bowl for Super Bowl Sunday. So here you go. And I don't know if you knew this. I did not. But watching the Super Bowl on television, a lot pricier than it is watching it in the comfort of your own home, or maybe even at a restaurant or a hot spot in your area. To share with you how much it costs, $10,000 per ticket this year. And some tickets go as high as $40,000. Blows my mind. I'm always surprised at the price on tickets for Super Bowls. Maybe I shouldn't be, but I still am. Also this year, the commercials that we can look forward to, they're pricey as well. This will kind of give you a mind-blown amount here. 30 seconds, a 30-second spot, again, I'm going to say 30 seconds, could cost an advertiser as much as $7 million this year. That actually makes the tickets for the game seem pretty cheap. Again, you know that a lot of people eating pizzas or ordering something in, wings, 1.45 billion wings, chicken wings, will be consumed on Super Bowl Sunday. Something else I thought was interesting, 10 million ribs will be purchased, and then 11.2 million pounds of potato chips will be eaten on Super Bowl Sunday. I absolutely love fun facts, so thank you for letting me share some of those Super Bowl fun facts with you today. Thanks so much for being here on this Mornings on Main Street for this Friday. We cannot wait to check in with you on Monday morning and also chat a little bit about that Super Bowl 57 winner come Monday morning. Have a great weekend.